All right, here.
Yeah, sorry we're late here. We had to go over to an apartment because John Cena was trolling.
Yeah, I sent in a green
ticket on that
and
again, and I asked the admin how many times do we need to put in green tickets before his IP gets banned.
Right.
Thanks for doing that. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Then we got
our newest DCP on stage, Mr.
Gerard.
Gerard. Everybody give him a round of applause. He's worked so hard and done a great job. So
welcome, Gerard.
Good job.
Mr.
Gerard. I really happy for you. Good job. We're proud of you.
And Kylie, are you recording?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, we're
Gonna get started. We have a lot
to
to
go over tonight. And I don't want to keep
everybody too late.
But
thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
So there's a
couple things I want to go over. I'm going to go over my part, and then Julia and Gerard have a couple things to go over as well. If you guys could all do me a favor, if you have questions, maybe write them down or hold them till the end. There might be more than likely that some of your questions might get answered as we go along here. But
I want to talk about and reiterate
our work culture. I want to talk about some values that you guys want to kind of announce and then go over our standards. I've talked about it before with our work culture.
Don't change
who you guys are. We have the best work culture in the Med faction. I would put this faction up against any other server. When our game members come in and know that they have to put their guns away before we get served, we created that. Like that's you guys creating that, and that's us being consistent
with our
high standards. And I don't want to change that. I mean, winning teams, highly productive teams. They have high standards, and I want that for us, and I think we do a very good job of that. I just want to make sure that we're focusing in on it and making it even stronger. We got to remember that trying to run a hospital. One thing I want us to focus on is being a team. So teams are built around trust, and that we can rely on each other at all times. And without that, teams fall apart. So I want to make sure. I mean, you guys look around the room at one another. Want to make sure that we all trust one another when we're doing things.
Raina, clean up.
Wrong and not correctly.
Get up and
You
clean.
are all empowered
to help one
another out, to help hold one another accountable. Maybe it's a nice professional reminder.
But help one
another out, please.
Good for you guys. Something for you guys to strive for, to look at, and think about. When I see our values, I think of 4 words that spell out the word give. And those words are growth, integrity, value, and excellence. So the growth part of it is growth for you guys. We want to grow every day and get better. And that's the part we want to focus on with growth. And even on the growth part, I want to start, I want to call it a program, but I want to start kind of a mentoring program. This should be a basic expectation for brown scrubs and up. I want everybody to try to mentor somebody. So if you guys are onboarding somebody, going through orientation, you're training them in, what a good time to pick that person as, and being a mentor for that person, because especially if they're new to the game, they don't know a whole lot. They don't know what a tuning kit is. They don't know what a repair kit is. They don't have money. So help them out. I mean, talk to them about liquidation day. Talk to them about these things that will help them out and help them be better at the game. And they'll appreciate that. I know I did when I came through. And I remember my first day, I think I came to the hospital my first day playing this game, and I didn't know crap. So everybody around me was very helpful, and I appreciate that. As far as our training, we do a good job of training. I do want to upgrade it a little bit and just some little tweaks. And here's what I mean by that. So, and it's kind of the 80-20 rule. Any job, anytime, even IRL, when you're training people in a new job, it's an 80-20 rule. 80% of the people are going to retain 20% of what they've learned. You're drinking from a fire hose on day one. And when these guys come through here in training, that's exactly what they're doing. So on top of that, I mean, people's attention spans are very little. I mean, when it comes to digital ads or reading anything on digital, like on your phone, an adult attention span is anywhere from 8 to 12 seconds. And when you're focusing on a task and trying to do a project, it can be as little as 20 minutes. And when you go through training, training lasts a lot longer than 20 minutes. So you don't want to lose these guys. And so one suggestion I want to make off the bat is when we're reading the medical rules and going through the rules with them, I would encourage you guys to not read those verbatim, word for word. A couple reasons. One, they know how to read. They can read it on their own. But two, I want you guys to I want you to relate to them. I want you to relate to the rule and explain to them what it means to you, and even maybe give them some examples of what you've seen with you guys working here. So when you're doing that and you're asking them questions, you're getting them engaged and you're not losing them. So that's one thing I think we can do right away to just help make some of our trainings better. Let me see what else here. I already talked about our culture standards, our values. The main thing is when someone comes here to be a medic, I know I did. I was attracted to being a medic because I like helping people. I'm not a medic IRL, but I like helping people. And I thought, oh, this is a good start. And I just started playing the game. And I actually joined another server because I wanted to learn more about the police, because I see all these trolls coming in the hospital. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are they not arresting them? Like, why is this so hard for the police to deal with? And so I went on another server and joined the police. And I kind of went through that whole program. And then I stopped playing it and came full board on here as a medic. But I wanted to learn more about the game and understand, like, what are some of the challenges these guys are seeing. And I thought that was very helpful. But yeah, so like I said, most people who come to be a medic join because they care. And that's one thing I want us to focus on, especially with our GIVE program. I want you guys to care. So in most jobs, when people don't care, that's when they start losing interest. They start showing up a little late, and they're just not all in. And so I want this to be a fun place to work. And that's one other thing I wanted to talk about is I want to do some more team building things. I want to have more parties. I want to go. Someone the other day mentioned a potluck. I mean, if you guys have some RP ideas to have fun with, let's do that. So I think that's kind of some of the things I wanted to talk about. There'll be some more as we go along here to interject, but and Gerard and Julia will touch on some of these too. But I want to give you guys a couple examples of what I mean by standards. So if you're out and about, and let's just say you're doing CPR with your partner, and let's say you're with a white scrub and a green scrub, and neither of them are throwing up their macros. Is that okay? Are you guys going to say something? Are you going to let it slide? Like, these are things we want to, right, exactly. So now let me give you another example. If there's a white coat out in the back doing the same thing, let's just say they're not even in a truck. They're just running around resuscitating people, and they're also not throwing macros. Is that okay just because they're a white scrub?
No.
Or sorry, a white coat. I meant a white coat. My mistake.
No.
But you're right, it's not. I plan on being consistent and holding everyone accountable, because I'm not planning on playing favorites, and I don't think that you guys should either. When you look at high performing teams, Indiana Hoosiers football team, the Super Bowl champions, these are high performing teams. Everybody on those teams, yeah, nice, Bo. Everybody on those teams, those high performers, they're held accountable, and they hold each other accountable, and that's what I want for our team. So those are just a couple examples I wanted to go over, but I will now turn it over to Gerard. He's got some stuff to go over too. So thanks.
One thing I want to touch base on is Discord. We want to keep Discord clean, posting the right forms. We're seeing a lot of times where promotions are being posted in a CPR, or CPR is being posted in another form. So just make sure you're posting them in the correct ones. You're going on CPR. Make sure you're taking your screenshots and keeping numbers. When you're at the front desk during your desk duty, make sure you're taking 2 to 3 screenshots and your number of people you're taking care of, and then post that onto the desk duties.
Logistics also.
Rank up schedule. The rank up schedule is to come. I don't foresee any major adjustments. We're still going to be doing Wednesdays and Saturdays, and then green scrubs every day. One thing I want to say is don't be asking for promotion. White coats have been very busy dealing with high level things. We'll get to the promotions as we can. One big thing that's been being brought up is the fall chat. Fall chat is for APs or higher. If there's an emergency, excuse me, if there's an emergency, tag us on Discord and we can hop on and help with that. And then I will have Chief give the example of an emergency because he dealt with it the other day.
Yeah, so that's a great point. So I'm going to give you guys an example. I want you to tell me if this is an emergency or not. So let's say I'm on and it's getting late, and I tell all you guys I'm signing off, going to bed, got to get up to get into work in the morning, and I leave. And 10 minutes later, after you just heard me say that, you ping me on Discord saying, can you please come back in the lobby? It's an emergency. And then when I find out what's going on, and I actually came back on the game, and the person, someone was wanting to see a supervisor because they wanted to know why they were reprimanded, why they were dismissed.
No, that's
And when I showed up, the person wasn't even there. They weren't even there. But is that an emergency situation?
no, it's not.
No, that's not.
Right. And so all of you have access, besides the green scrubs, all of you have access to the forums in the reprimand channel. So if somebody does ask that, you are all capable and empowered to go look that up and tell them. Not management doesn't have to answer all the questions. If you guys can handle it at your level, please do, because it's very important. And that's one thing we wanted to touch on too, is just making sure if there's things that you guys can deal with, please do it. And like I mentioned earlier, I want this faction built on trust. So I'm trusting all of you guys to uphold our rules and standards because you all went through training. And so I would ask you to do the same. Just uphold them. If you see something happening, please say something. Remember, we need body cam for everything. Admin will not take screenshots. They are being very, very detailed, I'll say, in some of the things we've been submitting. And I'll even tell you some of the rules, and I'll tell you right now, some of the rules we thought applied, they're saying otherwise. So answer me this. If there's a green scrub in the lobby pointing a gun at somebody, what is that sanction breaking? What is that rule breaking?
No firearm.
It's originally MD2,
1.1.
but
So I bet 99.9 of you would say MD2 because I did. And then I learned that is not correct because they didn't actually fire their weapon. So they told me that's MD11, which is improper RP, and that's just a warning. So we're learning things every day. I'm learning something new here, and I got my hand slapped for that one. But just make sure we're getting body cam, and I will do my best. There's even some videos I've gotten that I've had to reach out and ask for advice. Okay, guys, what do you think this one is? Because I've been getting them wrong because I thought that was MD2 and it wasn't. All right, go ahead, Gerard, if you had anything else, unless this Julie is up.
So it's like the fall chat. So since you guys don't have access to it, I would just encourage you to make friends like with PD, so that way you can private message them. That way they can come and help you, or in case one of us cannot jump on. And I'll turn it over to Julia.
Alrighty, let me
Oh,
pull
wait.
up the
There
list.
was one more thing, Julia. Sorry. One more thing is do not ever pull the buses out. That is for APs and hires to pull out. So that was one big bold thing on my list.
Do you have the sorry, do you have the list at your hand? Because I think I'm gonna get lagged out if I try to open it.
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry, I'll write it down in a notepad next time, Chief. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Do you want me to tell you, Julia, what it is? Do you want a reminder?
Yeah, because I didn't.
Yeah.
I forgot that I'd probably be lagged out by switching back and forth.
Yeah, you were going to talk about some of the training opportunities and some of the ideas you had.
Yes. So I know he mentioned the simulated training. I know a huge bottleneck that we've been dealing with is that we have a standard, like Chief said, that if you have your brown scrubs, that means that we trust you to independently guide and train people on our standard. And we know that there's been a lot of disruptions in that because we've had people who might not be able to train from top to bottom all at once. And the person who was supervising that person might not be available to attest that they can train from top to bottom. So we want to do some simulated trainings where we give you guys different scenarios, such as maybe it'll be with an AP, DCP, or CP. Sit and work with you guys and do scenarios like a person with tech issues, a person who is having trouble getting Discord together, and to see if you can handle those scenarios and can you train top to bottom with those simulated situations. We want to know if you know your stuff. We want to know if you're knowledgeable enough and you know the standard, and that the brown scrubs that you have are there for a reason and above. I'm also, me and Chief and Gerard are working on a criteria for basically with multiple columns of the given role, what is required of you to do in that role in order to maintain your role, and then what you would need to do in order to earn a promotion. With those in mind, we want to empower you guys and provide you guys with the needed resources to get to where you want to be. And we also want to be able to evaluate and determine, not just with XP, because that's something that the admin want. They want us to give a rank up criteria and a role criteria so that it's not just solely on XP and like, oh, maybe that person can train. They see, that way we have standards, but we also have a pathway to get there, right? I think that was all on that, Chief. And we also want to have, for those that are serious, we want to host classes for maybe, blue scrubs and pink scrubs who really want to prepare and do those simulations and really want to move their way up. But if you can't handle it, you can't, if you feel like you can't handle that week, or you don't want to do the class, it'll be 100% voluntary. It'll be simply those who have the bandwidth and who really want to move up, and show us what you got, ask questions, and that we can really dig into the details, because it's not enough to just read the rules verbatim and just read what the macro says. It's about explaining it. It's about providing thorough examples. It's about pausing if they need any clarification. It's about troubleshooting to help them get to where they want to be. It comes a lot more than just reading the rules, right? So, like he said, we already have a high standard and an excellent culture. We just need to refine where we are now and get consistent across the board. Did anyone have any questions about anything I said so far?
I did want to add one thing. I don't know if you got a chance to go over Kylie's template on training. I thought it was a good layout to go by.
Absolutely. And we'll pin it to the faction chat, or maybe the training log chat or something like that, to where we want to provide you guys with the resources and tools to make sure you're successfully training people.
And I want to add one part to that. So when we are training people, and we've got the pink scrubs wanting to shadow in, different things like that, even brown scrubs, 2 up here. We don't want too many people up here. We shouldn't have like 2 pink scrubs up here at the same time. Everyone will get an opportunity to shadow in or train somebody in, but we can't have multiple people up here while there's people downstairs needing med kits and pills and the lobby's busy, and you're leaving your green scrubs behind the desk and they're just getting their butts kicked because they don't have the support. So we don't want to overcrowd training, if that makes sense. So I would just leave it up to you guys. If 2 people, are on at the same time, leave it up to you guys to decide, okay, you go ahead this time, I'll get the next time. But we just don't want to overcrowd training too much, if that makes sense. And one thing we talked about earlier is, picking people up out back. There was some confusion if it's APs and up. We're going to kind of squash that. So CPRs, all CPRs, the whole process of resuscitating somebody needs to be in an EMS vehicle with a partner. Otherwise, you shouldn't be picking anybody up. Unless, one exception, and I can only think of one exception, unless it's a police officer. So if somebody says, police officer down, you're out front, you run out front and pick them up, that's fine, you don't need a vehicle. But other than that, we should be in a vehicle every time with a partner. No one's allowed to go out on CPRs by themselves because there's always other people on. And again, we talked about mentoring and helping people out. Get somebody to go with you. If you're the only one on and there's absolutely nobody else in here and you're all by yourself, we can maybe discuss that, but I feel like it still needs to be in AP and up. But I would rather go off the standard that everyone's treated the same. And we need to be in a vehicle with a partner, not just running around picking people up. Especially, I mentioned earlier, the macros. We got to use the macros, guys.
Absolutely. And can you give me the next item?
I think you touched it all, Julie. Did you talk about kind of the training resource video, trying to build another forum?
Yes. So there are a couple of changes that we'd like to make and request. So one of them, we, due to some of the new requirements that admin has brought to our attention that will be the standard, we are going to try to switch up some channels. So the reprimands channel is going to strictly be for like where we document warnings and reprimands. And we want to do a separate channel specific to retirements and dismissals. So that way we can keep a closer track, along with probably a spreadsheet. So that way, if someone tries to come back, we know if they retired. We can refer to the sheet to determine, if they left in good standing versus someone who left because bad things happened, or they were inappropriate. And I don't know if you want me to touch on some of the things that admin has brought to my attention in the previous meeting.
Yeah, as far as reprimands go, yeah, go ahead.
So, like we said, it's all about transparency. So there are going to be some things you are not going to want to hear, but are directly from the managing admin's mouths. The number one thing that they're saying is that DCPs and CPs, even though we have the ability to do it, and it is an in-game feature, they do not want us to reprimand them in-game. They don't want us to use the reprimand feature at all. The only reprimands they want to see in-game are the rate the leader. Their justification for that is that if they get 2 reps and from us, and 1 from rate the leader, they get dismissed. It ruins their workbook. They're unable to participate in factions for a while, having been repped out. So they don't want them doing that. Instead, they want to monitor the reprimand channel. And then once there are, 2 warnings equal a reprimand, 3 reprimands, you get repped out. They want us to monitor that in the reprimand channel only and to just dismiss. So with that being said, I know one of the things that they have been saying is that we have been assigning med rule violations inappropriately. So I will give you an example. There was someone that was dismissed for taking out their gun and pointing it in the lobby. So we would consider that an MD2, correct? Well, according to admin, that is not the case. They said that they are not using their weapon and it is in a green zone, therefore they can't shoot at anyone. So that would be just a warning for not listening to a supervisor. So that means that that person will have, and according to them, that means that person would have to have 6 reprimands of us warning them on 6 different occasions to warrant a dismissal. Same thing with the refusal for training. We aren't sure what they want us to do. They have extremely high standards for us, but unfortunately, they feel we are the peaceful faction, we are the open faction, and they have stated in their own words that they feel as if we are not being welcoming, kind, or professional enough, and that all those trolls out there who keep coming to HP and harassing us, all the ones out there shooting us, the reason why they're doing that is because most of them are disgruntled ex-employees from HP, and they want to get revenge for how poorly they were being treated. So, I agree, Bo. So like I said, we're being fully transparent in this moment, right? So I don't want to say anything, or this is something I don't want to keep close to the chest, because as a team, we have to decide to continue to work together as a team. The big thing that we want to push that's very, very important is we want to avoid the bystander effect, which is everybody in the situation where there's a troll, everyone's thinking, oh, okay, Chief's here, he's gonna put in that green ticket. Rory's here, he puts in green tickets, he knows how to put in a green ticket. The thing is, the more green tickets we submit on a situation, the more separate complaints that a person receives, the longer their sentence will be. So putting in one green ticket or hoping somebody else did it, unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. The only way, like Kylie just said in the chat, the only way we're going to get these people out of here who are making our lives a living hell is working together as a team and putting in green tickets where they're appropriate. So I personally, and we'll talk about what, again, it's going to be in rank requirements. To me, and I think I talked about it with Chief, by blue scrubs, you should be able to put in green tickets. And even if we have to take turns to have body cam, and okay, there's 4 of us in the lobby, 2 of us, everybody who has, y'all have the body cam in the lobby. As soon as people start cutting up, put the body cam on. And we'll take shifts where a couple of us at a time will go upstairs and put our footage in Discord and file the ticket. But if it's just one person filing a ticket here or there, nothing is going to get done or fixed. And if we don't do a better job of documenting things, it's not going to get better, because I can't give a person a rep if I don't have the body cam and I wasn't there. So now documentation is everything. Because the admin said if we don't have proof and we don't have it documented, in body cam, screenshots are usually not accepted. If we don't document things and start putting in green tickets in droves, HP is going to get worse, especially with the new standards that they have for us. So I know it's something to think on, but ultimately we're all on the same team together. And I want you all to make an informed decision about where you guys stand on this. because it was a very frustrating Sunday to hear the things that I heard and to hear that they thought we were divided and that it's all disgruntled ex-HP people that are killing us and in us, and that this game is about escaping from reality and having fun, and why can't people be here and have fun? Well, it's causing us to make our lives miserable. I exactly, it's all lies, Bo, and I'm not gonna lie. I went ham when I heard all of that, and I vehemently disagreed, and I said why? Because everybody in this room, with everything that we've been thrown at and with everything that we have had happen to us, every single one of us has done the very best we could with what we had. Everybody stepped up to the plate. Everybody remained professional. We all know the nasty things that the trolls can do. We all know how far they can go, and then they try to take it a step further. And we could all take it to hell with them. But instead, we remain polite. We always serve, no matter what, even if they just went out and killed us. So as soon as she said what she said about us being disorganized and divided and it being a mess, I snapped, because as a leader, I'm going to defend the team, and so is Chief. So I just want you to know they might not appreciate what we've been able to do this last month, but I sure as hell do. But I want everyone to make an informed decision. Things are going to get challenging. Things are going to be a little bit wonky at first while we figure out how we can game the system with the rules they've given us. And it's going to be a rocky road, but it's going to be rockier if we're not all working together, right? So, again, I just want to I want everyone to be able to make an informed decision as to, these are unfortunately the new rules to the game that we're being given, but I sure as hell don't want to quit.
I think.
Go ahead, Gerard.
Another thing you wanted to talk about, Julia, was about when we got a lot of people on getting CPR crews out.
Yes. I definitely, you wanted to talk to me about the CPR? The vehicles. I know it's almost a running joke because we say this every single week, but after the incident that happened on Midday Tuesday, Rory, you knew all the craziness that was going on, and we were trying to manage everything. There are people out there who have decided to go completely rogue and do a full-blown in an attempt to protest the fact that Mary did not get promoted. And you guys handled that with such grace and such professionalism per usual. And although we were split in a whole bunch of different ways on Tuesday, everybody played their role and did their thing. And I appreciate that. There may still be some more of that. We don't know yet. I think things may start cooling down because everyone sees that Mary seems happy out there. But please do not deploy the buses unless you're getting explicit, unless it is an AP, DCP. Exactly. Mary still loves us. And I said this when we went to Med Day a little bit late with my crew that was doing military training. I don't know why they would protest something by hurting the people that Mary cares about and loves the most. Exactly. So it was weird, but we endured. And that's definitely not going to make admin, change their mind with how they're responding by hurting EMS. So, but you guys handled it well. So with the buses, no buses whatsoever should be deployed or spawned unless it is an AP or higher that we are going to an event that's going to require a large volume of us to be there. There's no reason why a bus needs to be out whatsoever. We spawn those EMS vehicles for those training events and for in case we all need to go somewhere together. The buses are way too slow to do emergency CPR. So there's literally no reason why we should be using them at all. And that will definitely lead to a warning. So just like I said, with the warnings and reprimands we're going to keep track of, we are definitely going to be keeping a close eye on things, and it's likely that things that may have slipped before will lead to an official warning listed in the warning and reprimands channel. So please be mindful. I know sometimes we try to do things to be humorous or to do a prank, but it really is a pain in the butt to despawn those. And we've all been asked almost weekly. We've made it a point to say, avoid deploying the buses. If it's an AP or higher who's getting out the bus for a group trip somewhere, that's fine. But other than that, there should be no buses out there. Does anyone have any questions about that?
So I got one more thing before we end, you guys. And I talked about our give values earlier, and I actually wanted to read the definition of integrity because I think it's very important, especially the last part of it. Integrity is defined as the firm adherence to a consistent, uncompromising code of moral and ethical values characterized by honesty, truthfulness, and actions that align with stated principles even when no one's watching. And that's the part I wanted to stress at the end. Everything I just read there with integrity goes hand in hand with all the values and standards we've been talking about. I knew a basketball coach that called that being a sunshine athlete. And those are athletes that only tried hard when the coach was looking at them. And I don't want us to be that way. So when you guys are out selling cars, doing all those things, make sure you're representing our med faction and everyone else in the medical staff. Make sure you're representing them and make sure you're doing the right things, acting the right way, being ethical. Make everyone here proud. Like, make sure we're doing those things the right way. So I didn't have anything else. The only other thing is I would love for you guys to flood either this chat or the Discord chat with RP ideas, with party ideas. I would love for us to get together either Friday night or Saturday night, whether it's at the bar, whether it's up here on floor 2, whether it's at someone's mansion that we can borrow. I would like I said earlier, I want us to have some more fun, and let's go have some fun parties. So throw those ideas out there. At this time, we can open it up for questions. Do you guys have any questions you'd like to ask? Party bus, that would be interesting. I like the talent show. You guys are pretty quiet. So did we
Breeze
really
has a
cover
question.
everything?
Breeze has a question, but she doesn't want
Go.
to say it. She told me in person, but she doesn't want to say it right here.
I'll say it. Okay.
He's embarrassing you.
So, he is. Okay. For the macros, like when there's a group of people in the car, do you want everybody to be throwing those, or can we designate like one person that's doing that?
So this is exactly why we meant, like, with training, we got to be super consistent across the board, including doing the CPR training. So you were supposed to be given what each role does. So the driver, while they're driving, they're the only one with the emergency mode on, so they can have the GPS directions. The passenger should be throwing up all the macros, while the driver is letting you know when it's time to approach. When you're like, I like to do when you're about 500-600 feet away to let them know, hey, we're approaching the scene. Once you determine if it's safe or hostile, the passenger pulls up to let them know what the site is. Then, sorry, my cat is like literally trying to destroy my blinds right now. So once the passenger gets out to perform CPR, it is up to the driver to then throw the checking vitals and administering CPR training. That way, That person, all the passenger has to do is focus on reviving the person. Do not worry about macros once you get out of the car. It's your job to go save that life. Because I'm telling you, there are times where you might get all stuck and get all frazzled because it's all about, it's a time test, right? And you want to save them. There have been a few times where I was like, I'm going to do the macro. I'm going to do it. And that, like, 10 seconds that took to do that macro, I could have revived the person, but they ended up back in HP. Things that I've noticed, 2 things. Yes, save them before they faint. 2 things. Because I've been trying to study it in the lobby. It usually gets chaotic the more medics that are there. So if there's more than 5 of us in the lobby, that should be an automatic, we need to have 1 CPR out there. Because you know why it's chaotic? Because there's 5 of us in there. We all might be all talking to a patient. Then there's trolls, and it just sort of escalates the situation. So what we should do is that if there's 5 or more people, we need at least 1 pair of people out there serving. Out there. And then guess what? That also reduces the traffic of who's coming in the lobby. Preferably the trolls out there will call us so that we can revive them there so they can stay out of HP.
And one thing we want to see is keep seeing those CPR numbers go up. Chief was telling us, like, in the last 5 weeks, Chief, we went from like 160 something to over 500.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
went from week to week. We went from like 120 to 230 to 340 to 590, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And that 590 week, I mean, hats off to Gerard and Ozo.
Oh God, stop quoting Gerard.
That day, that day started with Gerard and I challenging each other, and it was so fun. We would say somebody, we'd hop on the radio, hey, I got 1. Hey, I got 2. Hey, I got 10. And it's like, and they were like, holy crap, we're both like, hey, we're at 25. And then, like, you know, I had to sign out, and Gerard and Ozo came across, like, I don't know, a dozen or more police officers down. They got them all. And I mean, it was so much fun. And I told Mary and Dora, that has to be some kind of record. I said, somebody needs to look this up and ask somebody. That's got to be a record, because that was fantastic. Good job, guys.
I really see if we can't make that like into a competition or something.
All right, questions, guys. You got them? Any more questions?
So we only pull the buses out if someone tells us to?
If an AP tells you to, and if it is for an event or training that we're going on. AP and above.
Mr. Ozo has a question.
Yeah, so I wanted to discuss with the thing that Mr. Chief Jester mentioned earlier, which is about CPR. So when there is nobody in the lobby and it's only you yourself, and you want to go for the CPR run, and uh, what should we do in that situation? And also, if even there is people inside the lobby, what if they don't want to go out for the CPR? What if they don't want to go out for the CPR with you? It did not happen to me, but I'm sure it will happen in the future, and we need to discuss about it.
No, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, I hear you guys. I've been in your shoes, so I mean, I remember, you know, I've been on the game, and nobody else has been on, and I wanted to go CPR and get it done, and nobody wanted to join either. I mean, back then, I mean, I just didn't go. That's what I did. But we do need people out there. You know, if there's one person covering the lobby and there's absolutely nobody else on, I mean, we can be flexible with that. But I do think it's certain scrubs and up. I don't think we should have green and white out there by themselves doing CPRs. So I do think it might even be bluing up or pinking up, my opinion. But you guys have to be responsible to check and see if more people sign on. I mean, I don't want you doing CPR for, a whole hour when there could be somebody with you. I'd want you guys to keep checking in. And you can do that over the radio.
All right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Good question though, Ozo. Anybody else?
Just one thing with how Chief stated, we kind of want to build on the standards and culture that we already have. These meetings are going to continue. These meetings are pretty much going to be as important as ever now, because when there are changes in policies and rules, we will want to bring them up here. No, Brooke, you cannot go out alone. So you want to make sure that you guys attend these meetings. Please review the training videos, because review these videos, look at the training resources as we create them, so that way everyone's kept up to date on what's going on in the faction, and any changes that will be made, because this is a new set of leadership. It's Chief, it's Gerard, it's me. It'll be the third that we choose. So make sure that you guys stay informed and empower yourselves with information, so that we aren't unintentionally doing things that are no longer policy anymore. And be flexible with us as we change, update, and work on making things efficient. Just be patient with us. Give us some grace, as we'll give you guys grace as you adjust.
If you guys see any red flags, you see any MDs being broken or anything like that, take your video. If you need to send it over, I would suggest putting it on the faction chat and then tagging the three of us. Please don't just send it to me over a personal message, because we've got two other people up here that can help deal with it too if I'm not available. That I like it in the faction chat. That way everybody can see it. So if we have somebody trolling, then everyone knows to keep their eye out for that person. So please put it in the faction chat. Make sure you tag us. Thank you. And immediately following the meeting, we'll do our best to look over the list to see who's due for promotions. We'll go through some promotions today, and like I said, we will do them on Saturday as well. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else, thank you all for joining. Geez, we went 50 minutes. So sorry it took so long. I think I knew we had a lot to cover. I was actually hoping we would get it in under an hour, and we did that. So it's good. But go have fun. Go save somebody. Thanks a lot, you guys. You guys are great.
Thank you, guys.